Haven 12 was one of the quiet human colonies in the outer galaxy. It was small, peaceful, and very far from any major trade route. Only 20,000 humans lived there, and they loved their simple life. Every morning the colony sent a short signal to Earth. It was a normal routine, something they had done for many years. But on this day something changed. The signal did not arrive. At first no one on Earth felt worried. Maybe the weather system was down. Maybe the transmitter needed repair. Such small problems happened on remote colonies all the time. But after 3 hours, Earth control became uneasy. After 6 hours, they declared a communication blackout. After 12 hours, panic began to spread in the command center. Human colonies did not stay silent for this long. Meanwhile, far away in space, a neutral alien patrol ship named Kilos passed near Haven 12 sector. The captain, a tall and careful alien named Sirac, noticed something strange on his sensors. The planet looked active. Power systems were running. The atmosphere was stable. But there was one impossible reading. No life signs. Not even one. Sirac frowned. Even an empty planet had insects, animals, or plants. But Haven 12 showed nothing. It was as if every living thing had been deleted from existence. "Run the scan again," he ordered. His crew repeated the scan. The result did not change. 0 life. 0 sound. A cold feeling spread through the ship. This was not natural. This was not normal. Something powerful had touched the human colony. Sirac made a decision no alien captain liked making. "We land." The ship slowly descended to the colony's main city. Everything looked normal from above. Clean streets, busy machines, glowing lights. But no movement. No humans walking. No voices. Not even a child crying. When the doors opened, Sirac stepped out with his team. The air was warm. The sky was blue. Haven 12 felt alive, but empty. Too empty. They walked through the streets. A hovercart was still running, its engine humming softly. A door to a home was open, swinging gently in the wind. Inside, a meal sat untouched on a table. On another street, a worker's tool was left on the ground as if dropped suddenly. Clothes were still in washing machines. Lights were on in every house. Everything looked normal. But the people were gone. Sirac whispered, "This is not a mass escape. This is not an attack. This is something else." He could feel it. Something strange, something invisible, still hung in the air. A kind of energy, like a quiet warning. On the far side of the colony, one of Sirac's officers called out, "Captain, you need to see this." Sirac walked into a small building. It looked like a storage house. On the metal wall, carved with a sharp object, were the last words of Haven 12. It came from the sky, but it was not a ship. Sirac felt his heart beat faster. He looked at the message again and again. Something came from the sky, but not a ship? What else could come from the sky? A creature? A storm? A weapon? A force? He did not know. But he knew this. Humans never disappeared without a fight. So whatever took them was powerful. He returned to the Kilos and sent a message to the Galactic Council. Emergency report. Human colony Haven 12 is empty. All 20,000 humans are missing. No bodies. No damage. No signs of struggle. They vanished. The council chamber was silent for many long seconds after hearing this. Humans were known for their strength, for their survival skills. They were not the type to vanish. And if they did vanish, the galaxy feared what humanity would do next. Earth received the report within minutes. The highest security meeting was called. Generals, scientists, and leaders gathered. The message from the aliens played on the screen again and again. They vanished. No one spoke. No one breathed. Humanity had many enemies and even more mysteries. But this was something else entirely. Finally, the commander of Earth Defense spoke. "Send the Silent Guard." These were not normal soldiers. The Silent Guard was a secret human unit created long ago for threats that could not be explained. They were trained for the unknown. When they landed on Haven 12, they found the same impossible silence. One soldier said, "This feels like a ghost world." But then, one of them discovered something strange underground. A small vibration. A hidden pulse. Something alive, but not human. The scientists scanned it and stepped back in shock. This energy signature. It does not match any known species. The Silent Guard exchanged worried looks. The vibration grew stronger, pulsing like a heartbeat, deep under the colony. One soldier whispered the words no one wanted to hear. "Something woke up here." The Silent Guard sent the data to Earth. The readings were old. Ancient. Something buried long before humans even came to this colony. And then the final message came from the underground scanner. Unknown entity detected. Moving. The silent guard froze. The pulse grew louder. Something had awakened. Something older than the colony. Something watching them. Something that had taken 20,000 humans without leaving a single mark. And now, it was moving toward the surface. The ground under the silent guard shook again, this time harder than before. Dust rose from the cracks, and a low rumbling sound echoed across the empty colony streets. Every soldier stepped back, weapons ready, eyes fixed on the scanners. "What is it?" one soldier asked. The lead scientist checked the display again, his hands trembling. This energy is not natural. It is rising from almost 5 kilometers underground. Something huge is waking up. The vibration stopped suddenly. Silence returned. Too much silence. The colony looked calm, almost peaceful, but every human soldier felt the same thing. Something was watching them from below. Something ancient. Something patient. The silent guard captain, Commander Arya Hale, raised her hand. "We moved to the central bunker," she said. "We need more readings." The team hurried through empty streets. Machines hummed, lights flickered, but no human footsteps echoed. It felt wrong. A place full of life now felt like a hollow shell. As they entered the central bunker, they found the colony's last saved recordings. Arya opened the first file. The hologram showed a man sitting in a control room, breathing fast. His words were shaky. "We saw it, in the sky. Not metal. Not light. Something like a shadow with a shape. It came down like a storm, but it didn't touch anything. It just passed through the buildings. When people looked at it..." The recording ended abruptly. Arya opened the second file. This time, a woman screamed into the camera. "It's not killing us. It's pulling us somewhere." The file corrupted before finishing the sentence. Arya turned to the team. This was no attack. This was an extraction. A soldier whispered, "What kind of thing extracts 20,000 people?" No one answered. Strange evidence. One of the soldiers called Arya to another console. "Commander, look at this." The screen showed movement detected just 1 hour before the colony vanished. A circle of black mist formed above the central square. It spun slowly, then expanded. And then, people walking nearby simply disappeared inside it. Not pulled. Not grabbed. They just blinked away as if erased from reality. A gateway. A portal? A creature? No one could tell. The mist lasted 12 seconds, then collapsed into the ground like a falling shadow. Arya watched the footage again. Each time, the same chill crawled down her spine. Soldier Tomas whispered what everyone feared to say aloud. "Whatever this is, it can pass through walls. Can enter minds. Can take humans without touching them." The scientist finally spoke. "We are not dealing with an alien empire. We are dealing with something that moves between worlds." Arya had heard rumors about old myths, ancient beings that watched humanity from the darkness of space. But no proof ever existed. Until now. The first confrontation. Suddenly, the bunker lights flickered. A deep hum vibrated through the floor. Computers shut down one by one. Only the scanner stayed active, and its reading shot up instantly. Entity approaching. Distance, 400 meters. Origin, underground. Speed, fast. Arya gave the order. Defensive positions. Now. The soldiers raised their weapons and formed a perimeter. The ground cracked as dust fell from the ceiling. Then the noise stopped. Silence returned. A single soldier stepped forward. "Commander, look." A thin black line formed on the bunker wall. It widened, like a cut in reality. Not broken metal, not melting, just opening. A dark tear. From inside, a slow spiral of black mist drifted out. It did not float like smoke. It moved like it had a mind. Like it was choosing where to go. The mist slid along the air and stopped in front of Arya. The bunker temperature dropped instantly. Her breath turned white. "It's observing us," she said softly. The mist rotated slowly, almost like it was scanning her. Then, it whispered. A quiet, distant voice, not in the air but inside her head. "You should not be here." Arya stepped back, heart racing. The soldiers raised their guns, but the mist reacted instantly. The temperature dropped even more. Ice formed along the floor. The voice spoke again. "They're safe. You must leave." Arya forced herself to speak. "Where are the people of Haven 12? The mist paused. For a moment, it felt like the whole world held its breath. Then the voice answered. "Beyond your space. Beyond your time." The soldiers stared in confusion. The mist began pulling back toward the tear in the wall. Arya shouted, Wait. Why did you take them? The mist paused once more. To protect them, from what comes next. Before Arya could ask more, the tears snapped shut. The mist vanished. The temperature returned to normal. The bunker became silent again. Too silent. The meaning of the message. The scientist broke the silence. Commander, if it can take humans across dimensions, then this is not an enemy we can fight with weapons. Arya nodded. But we must learn why. Why protect them? And from what? She looked at the last scanner reading. The underground pulse was gone. But a new signal appeared, far above the planet. Something massive was approaching Haven 12 from deep space. Something the entity was trying to protect humans from. Arya whispered, whatever took the colony, did it because something worse is coming. The galaxy had no idea. But humanity was about to face the biggest threat in its history. The moment the silent guard detected the massive object approaching Haven 12, Earth received the same strange signal. A deep, low-frequency pulse traveled across human space. It was not a message. It was a warning, cold, ancient, and impossible to decode. In the Galactic Council chamber, alarms sounded. Dozens of alien ambassadors watched giant screens showing the same reading. An unknown object enters the sector. Size, colossal. Origin, unknown. The council leader, a large reptilian alien named Vrakuin, slammed his fist on the table. Who sent it? What empire is behind this? No one answered. Every race checked its fleets. No one had launched anything. No empire claimed responsibility for sending something this huge into human space. One ambassador said quietly, This object is older than our records. It has no engine, no metal structure. It is not a ship. A silence spread. If it was not a ship, then what was it? Earth's response. Back on Earth, Command Central was in full panic mode. Screens flashed warnings. Scientists shouted data. Generals demanded answers. Commander Reinhold looked at the main projection. A massive shape moving slowly, without engines, without heat, without light. What is keeping it in motion? Rien asked. The scientist shook his head. Nothing. It is moving as if space itself is pulling it. A shiver ran through the room. Arya Hale's report from Haven 12 arrived. Her message showed the dark mist, the tear in the wall, the strange voice that spoke to her. When the video ended, the room was silent. A senior general finally spoke. You're telling us, a being from another dimension took 20,000 humans to protect them from that? Arya's voice came from the recording. Yes, sir. And whatever is coming is older than anything we've seen. The general rubbed his forehead. We need backup. Now. Earth activated its hidden fleet protocols, warships long kept in shadow archives. Dreadnoughts that had never been seen by any alien race. Weapons humanity had never admitted existed. The galaxy always believed Earth was peaceful. But humans were only peaceful because they were preparing for something. Something just like this. The Council panics. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council was losing control. Alien leaders shouted at one another. One human colony disappears and now a cosmic object arrives. Did the humans cause this? They awakened something. They hide too much. Should we prepare for war? Some believed humans summoned the creature. Others believed the humans were the target. But one conclusion stood above all. Whatever was coming would not stop at Haven 12. An ambassador whispered, if humanity is in danger, we all are. They sent a message to Earth. We request communication. We must understand this threat. But Earth ignored them. Humanity was focused on only one thing, protecting their species. And the galaxy could see it. For the first time in centuries they saw Earth's true face. Silent, calculating, preparing. Alien empires felt fear. Humans had not even begun fighting. But the galaxy already felt the tension. The incoming object. Near Haven 12, the silent guard watched from orbit. The gigantic object grew closer. It did not spin. It did not burn. It moved as if it belonged to no physical law. The silent guard scientist stared at the sensors. This is not a solid body. Arya looked at him. Explain. It is not made of matter. It is made of gravity. Pure gravitational mass shaped like a structure. Arya felt her chest tighten. A living gravitational entity? He nodded. Yes. Something that can crush planets without touching them. A soldier whispered. Then why did it choose Haven 12? Why here? No one knew. But the entity from the other dimension did. The silent guard replayed the voice again. To protect them from what comes next. And now the thing that was next had arrived. The galaxy watches. Millions of sensors across the galaxy locked onto the object. Ships from rival empires rushed to observe. Some fled. Some prepared weapons. A large Kryn Empire commander reported, "We have never seen an object like this. If it keeps its current path, it will reach Haven 12 in 1 hour." One ambassador whispered. "And then? What will it do?" No one answered. The galaxy was shaking, not because of the object but because no one understood it. Fear came from the unknown. Humanity makes a stand. Earth's hidden fleet jumped into the Haven 12 sector. Dozens of black, silent warships appeared around the Silent Guard cruiser. Their hulls carried no markings, only a single emblem: the Human Shield Protocol. Arya stared at the fleet from her cockpit window. The scientist murmured, "Earth sent the Shadow Fleet, the oldest, most classified weapons they have." Arya whispered, "If Earth sends them, then the threat is beyond anything we've ever faced." The Shadow Fleet formed a protective circle around Haven 12. The galaxy watched and understood something terrifying. Humans were done being silent. The object changes course. Suddenly, without warning, the colossal gravitational entity slowed down. Then it stopped. Every sensor went quiet. Then the object turned. Arya felt her blood freeze. "It sees us," she whispered. The object now faced the human fleet directly, as if focusing its attention on humanity. The scientist's screen flashed red. "Commander, it's scanning us." Arya tightened her grip on her weapon. "What does it want?" The screen blinked again. New energy spike detected. Source: the object. Detail: something is waking inside it. The team stared at the readings. Something inside the object was coming alive. Something worse. Something that even the dimensional entity feared. Arya whispered, "This is only the beginning." The colossal gravitational object floating near Haven 12 was no longer silent. Something inside it was moving. Deep, slow pulses echoed through space like the heartbeat of a god. Every pulse shook the sensors on human ships. Every pulse made the crew feel smaller, weaker, like insects watching a mountain wake up. Commander Arya Hale stood on the command deck of her ship, eyes locked on the screen. "Status?" she asked. The scientist swallowed hard. The object is no longer just observing, it is opening. A line of bright white energy split across the surface of the giant shape. The crack widened like a mouth and a deep, humming sound filled the entire sector. Area soldiers grabbed their helmets as if expecting the vacuum of space to pull them out. "Is it attacking?" a soldier asked. "No," the scientist whispered. "It is releasing something. The ancient signal." Suddenly, every human ship received an encrypted transmission. Not from Earth. Not from the galaxy. But from the object itself. A single repeating message: "Return. Return. Return." Arya shook her head. "What does that mean?" The scientist checked the frequency. His face went pale. "Commander, this signal is in an ancient human code. Older than Earth's space age. Older than our first satellites. This code shouldn't exist anymore." Arya felt a shiver run down her spine. "You're saying someone, or something, learned our oldest language?" "No," he replied. "I'm saying, humans may have known this long ago. We just forgot." The words hit the room like thunder. Forgot? Forgot what? Clues beneath Haven 12. While the Shadow Fleet watched the massive object, the Silent Guard returned to the colony surface. There was something underground, some ancient secret buried under Haven 12 long before humans settled the planet. Arya led a small team into the underground tunnels located beneath the main colony square. Each step echoed through the dark passages. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became. At last they reached a huge sealed door, covered in dust and old carvings. "What language is this?" Tomas asked. The scientist pressed his light against the symbols. "It's not alien, it's human." Everyone stared. Before anyone could speak, the door shifted and opened by itself. A pale golden chamber revealed itself, full of old machines, glowing slowly with a soft pulse. In the center was a massive crystal-like structure, humming with life. Tomas stepped closer. What is this?" The scientist scanned it. The results shocked even him. "Commander, this energy signature is identical to the one we detected in the dimensional entity." Arya froze. "You're telling me the thing that took the colony comes from the same energy source as this?" "Yes," he said. "This chamber is connected to it." But that was not the most shocking part. The crystal flickered, projecting a hologram into the air. A human face appeared. Not modern human. Ancient human. Eyes glowing with knowledge from a forgotten age. The hologram spoke. If you are seeing this, the Watchers have awakened. Arya felt her heart stop. The Watchers, she whispered. The hologram continued. They exist between worlds. They guard humanity from the cosmic threat sleeping beyond the stars. Use their return as a warning. The Devourer is near. The hologram flickered and vanished. The chamber fell silent. The Watcher's purpose. The scientist exhaled. The entity that took the humans, it wasn't an enemy. It was a protector. Arya nodded. And the thing coming, the Devourer, must be inside that massive object. The soldiers looked at each other with fear. A creature able to consume worlds? One asked. Arya answered quietly. Yes. And the Watchers took the colony to keep them safe. Tomas whispered. So the humans are alive? Yes, Arya said. They are somewhere the Devourer cannot reach. But the galaxy wasn't safe. Not anymore. The galaxy realizes the truth. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, alien ambassadors watched the massive object split open further. Bright gravitational waves shot out, shaking nearby stars. One ambassador whispered, This is a galactic extinction event. Another shouted, Contact the humans. They must tell us what they know. The council sent another message to Earth. Share information. We face a common enemy. But Earth did not reply. Humanity was busy preparing their defenses. For the first time, alien empires understood a terrifying truth. Humans had secrets, old secrets, dangerous secrets, and now those secrets were waking up. The first echo of the Devourer. Back near Haven 12, the crack in the object opened fully. A single golden eye, massive, ancient, filled with hunger, opened inside the structure. It scanned the human fleet. Every ship shook as gravitational waves rippled through space. Power systems flickered. Weapons went offline. The scientist shouted, Commander, the Devourer is waking. If it fully activates, it can swallow this entire system. Arya stepped forward. We need to warn Earth. She opened a secure channel. Earth Command, this is Commander Arya. We found a Watcher, an ancient protector of humanity. It took the colony to save them. But something worse, something older, is inside the object. It's waking. You must prepare. Before Earth could respond, the golden eye inside the object shifted. It focused directly on Arya's ship. Then a whisper filled every human mind. Feast begins. Arya felt the blood drain from her face. The Devourer had noticed them. And it was hungry. The golden eye inside the colossal object stared directly at the human fleet. It did not blink. It did not move. It only watched, cold, ancient, hungry. Commander Arya Hale felt her chest tighten. The voice still echoed in her head. Feast begins. The silent guard stood frozen. Every instinct screamed at them to escape. But humanity never turned away from danger. Humans learned, adapted, and fought. Arya raised her voice. All ships, defensive formation. Do not provoke it. If this thing is older than civilizations, we cannot attack blindly. But the Devourer had noticed humanity, and that was enough. White medium star, the first attack. The golden eye flashed once. A wave of gravitational force exploded through space. It hit the nearest human frigate like a hammer made of pure gravity. The ship bent, groaned, screamed. Metal warped as if it were soft clay. Lights burst. The hull crumbled inward, crushed by an invisible hand. And then, silence. The frigate was gone. No wreckage. No survivors. Just erased. The crew on Arya's ship gasped. The scientist whispered, It didn't destroy the ship. It consumed its mass. The Devourer eats existence. Arya clenched her fists. We cannot let this thing reach Earth. It will wipe out humanity. Before she could issue another order, her communicator beeped. A message appeared on the screen. Impossible, unbelievable. Incoming signal, human DNA detected. Location, deep space, near Watcher Rift. Arya's eyes widened. The colony, the humans of Haven 12. The scientist stared at the readings. They're coming back. White medium star, the missing colony reappears. Far behind the human fleet, space rippled like water. A huge circular tear opened in the darkness. Blue, gold, and silver energy swirled around the opening. A portal. A massive shape emerged. Not a ship. Not a creature. But an entire floating island of shimmering energy. Inside the glowing structure, shadows moved. People. The humans of Haven 12. All 20,000. They were floating in a protected field, eyes closed, breathing calmly, alive and unharmed. Arya stared in shock. The Watcher brought them back. The portal grew larger and larger until the entire colony, buildings, streets, vehicles, materialized slowly behind the fleet. But the people were still unconscious, protected in a cocoon of light. Tomas whispered, "They're sleeping." Arya replied, "No, they're being shielded." White medium star, the Watcher returns. The dim air around the portal flickered. Then the being appeared again, the black mist swirling like a living shadow. But this time the Watcher was larger, brighter, and more defined. Its shape looked almost human but not fully. Its face had no eyes, only glowing marks. The Watcher floated in front of the fleet, between humanity and the Devourer. It raised its arm. A deep pulse of energy pushed forward, like a shield made of dimensional force. The Devourer reacted instantly. The golden eye narrowed. The gravitational waves stopped. A rumbling sound shook space. The two ancient forces finally faced each other. White medium star, a message for humanity. The Watcher's voice echoed directly inside Arya's mind. "I have done what I can. They are safe now." Arya spoke aloud, trembling but determined. "What is the Devourer? Why does it want us?" The Watcher answered, "In the beginning, before stars existed, the Devourer fed upon the first sparks of life. When humans appeared, it sensed you. It always returns to finish what it started." Arya felt a painful realization. "This thing has hunted us since the start of our species?" "Yes." "Then why hide the truth from us?" The Watcher's form flickered. "Humanity was not ready. But now you must choose. Fight with me, or fall alone." Arya looked at her soldiers. Their faces were pale, scared, but determined. Humans did not run. White medium star, galactic powers witnessed the truth. Across the galaxy, alien empires watched the scene. Their sensors recorded everything: the Watcher, the portal, the Devourer, the colony's return. Messages flooded the council. Humans have guardians. Is the Devourer a threat to all of us? Why did humans hide these beings? What else are humans hiding? Fear spread through the galaxy. For the first time, aliens understood something terrible. Humanity was far more important, far more ancient, and far more dangerous than anyone believed. Some empires began preparing fleets. Others prepared alliances. A few whispered, "If humans survive this battle, they will become the strongest power in the galaxy." White medium star, the Devourer awakens fully. And then, the golden eye inside the gravitational object split into three. Three eyes. Three blinding suns of hunger. The entire structure shook. Massive tentacles of gravity unraveled from inside the object. The Devourer had awakened. The Watcher's voice entered Arya's mind again. "Humanity, stand behind me." Arya's voice trembled as she gave the order. "All ships, form up. Protect the colony. Prepare for battle." The Devourer let out a deep, universe-shaking roar, not through sound but through the bending of space itself. The roar meant only one thing. It was ready to feed. Arya whispered, "This is it. The beginning of humanity's greatest war." The shuttle touched the ground with a soft metallic thud. Dust lifted around the landing pads like a slow-moving fog. Captain Ryan stepped out first, scanning the silent colony with sharp, tired eyes. Behind him, Kira followed, her pulse scanner ready, her hands slightly shaking. She had seen many abandoned worlds before, but this one felt wrong. Too clean. Too perfect. The settlement looked frozen in time. Doors half open. Lights still powered. Tables set for breakfast. A child's toy lying in the middle of the path. But the people, every single one, gone. Ryan lifted his communicator. Alpha team spread out. Look for signs of struggle, signs of transport, anything. They moved through the streets in silence. Only their footsteps broke the stillness. Inside the central command building, Kira found something strange. A chair pulled back, a cup of tea still warm. She touched it carefully. "It's fresh," she whispered. Ryan turned sharply. "That means whatever happened minutes before the distress signal." Kira nodded slowly. "But how is that possible? We detected the signal from hours away." Ryan didn't answer. He couldn't. Outside, two soldiers, Jax and Mira, walked toward the edge of the settlement. Beyond the last house was the forest. The trees were tall and black-barked, their leaves glowing faintly blue under the alien sun. Mira scanned the perimeter. "No footprints," she said. "No drag marks. No energy trails. Nothing." Jax frowned. "People don't just vanish into air." "But here they did," Mira replied. They stepped forward, and that's when Jax froze. "Mira, look." A set of human footprints appeared in the dust, only a few meters ahead of them. Fresh, clear, bare feet. A child's feet. But the prints stopped suddenly in the middle of the path. As if the child had taken a step, and then simply disappeared. Mira felt a cold wave roll down her spine. This is not natural. Jax took a shaky breath. Captain needs to see this. In the central building, Kira found something on the main console. A message on the screen, half corrupted, half readable. It said, "They came from the sky. They whispered. We could not run." Ryan leaned closer. Whispered. Kira nodded. Yes, and there's more. She pointed at the blinking symbol. A signature frequency. Not human. Not alien. Something unknown. Ryan clenched his jaw. Unknown was the worst kind of threat. Before he could speak, Jax's voice cracked over the comm. "Captain, you need to come now." Ryan and Kira ran outside and found the two soldiers standing beside the disappearing footprints. Ryan stared at the prints, then at the empty air ahead of them. What happened here? Jax shook his head. Sir, we have no explanation. Mira pointed to the forest. It's not the colony we should fear. It's what lives out here. Ryan looked at the dark trees, their glowing leaves moving softly even without wind. It was like they were breathing. He stepped forward, raising his scanner. The device flickered. Then, static. The entire squad's equipment shut down at once. The lights on their suits died. Weapons powered off. Communication links dropped. Everything went silent. Kira whispered, "Something is blocking all tech." Ryan tightened his grip on his useless weapon. "Fall back. To the shuttle." But before they could move, the forest lights dimmed. The blue glow faded and a colder, harsher color rose, like white fire. Between the trees, thin shapes began to appear. Tall. Too tall. Like shadows stretching in the wrong direction. They did not walk. They did not glide. They simply appeared, closer each second. Mira gasped. "Sir, what are those?" Ryan didn't answer. He placed himself in front of his team, eyes fixed on the figures. One of the shadows leaned forward, its shape bending unnaturally. No face. No mouth. Just darkness. Then Ryan heard something, not through his ears but inside his head. A whisper. Cold. Slow. Ancient. "You should not be here." Kira stepped back, trembling. "They're in our minds? Captain, they can speak inside our minds." The whisper grew louder. "Leave. Or vanish, like the others." Ryan felt pressure in his skull, like ice pushing against his thoughts. "Team," he said, trying to steady his breathing. "We retreat. Now." They ran. The shadows did not chase. They only watched. At the shuttle, they jumped in, manually activating emergency launch. Engines roared. The ship lifted off the ground just as the shadow figures reached the edge of the settlement, then stopped as if an invisible barrier held them back. Inside the shuttle, everyone sat in stunned silence. Kira finally whispered, "Captain, whatever those things were, they didn't kill the colonists. They took them." Ryan stared at the planet shrinking beneath them. "And they warned us to leave." Jack swallowed hard. "But why take an entire human settlement?" Ryan closed his eyes. "I don't know, but the galaxy will shake when they find out. Because humans never vanished. Humans fought back. Always. And whatever took the colony had just started a war.